Hey everyone, my name is Bryson Cox, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about fall protection in general industry. So to start off, we're going to start by asking what is fall protection in general. So fall protection is described as a reasonable series of steps taken to cause elimination or control the injurious effects of an unintentional fall while accessing or working at height. And then this equipment is made up of three parts known as the ABCs of fall protection. And I have a harness right here, but we'll look into that a little bit later, just looking at this photo here. As it says, the equipment is made up of three parts. This right here is going to be the B in the ABCs. This is just the body wear. So you've got your straps here, your buckles, and then right here is going to be your D-ring. You can't see it, it's on the back side, but yeah, this is going to be the body wear of the ABCs. And moving on, why is fall protection important? According to OSHA, falls are among the most common causes of serious work-related injuries and deaths, and 2 people die every day in falls from heights. Just to elaborate a little bit more on that, about 300,000 disabling injuries every year are caused by falls, and falls are the second leading cause of death in the workplace. So those numbers are way too high. We've got to try and get those numbers down, and I think that just shows kind of how important falls really are and how important wearing your fall protection is, and why it's truly needed. And 80% of all citations and 90% of dollars applied as fines are related to struck by, caught in between, electrocution, and lastly falls. So those 4 right there are the main 4. And another thing, just to go a little bit further, 4 out of the top 10 hazards that occur on the work site are related to falls. And actually, if you can eliminate these 4 right here, caught in between, struck by, electrocution, and falls, you can actually eliminate 8 out of 10 hazards that occur on the job site. So seeing as how falls are in that category, that just shows more importance on why it's a big deal, why we wear our fall protection, and why we need to be safe when working at heights. And lastly, fall protection was the most frequently cited standard by OSHA in 2021. In my eyes, that's just kind of unacceptable. We need to try and get that number down, seeing as how falls are one of the most deadly killers on the job site. We need to make sure that we're really following that standard and make sure that we're keeping our guys safe, keeping you guys safe, and making sure that we know how it is needing to be implemented, and how to properly wear it and be safe while doing so. So going a little bit further into the ABCs of fall protection. So the A is for anchorage, B is for the body wear, and C is for the connecting device. So if you look right here, this whole thing is the body wear. I don't have an anchorage to show, but the anchorage is what you would attach your connecting device, which this right here is actually going to be your connecting device, and that's what you would put on your anchor to make sure you're tied off. But yeah, this whole thing right here is the body wear, and right here you have your D-ring. But just to go a little bit more in depth with that, and we'll come back to that later. But just to go a little bit more in depth, like I said before, fall protection is made up of 3 parts: the anchorage, the body wear, and the connecting device. The anchorage is the place where you will attach the connecting device, which, as you can see right here, this is his anchor right here. He's connecting the connecting device to it to make sure he's tied off. The body wear is the actual body harness itself, which I showed right there, but just to see this picture, it's what he's actually wearing. And then the connecting device is the equipment that connects the body harness to the anchor point, which is going to be this right here. And this can include a self-retracting lifeline and a shock-absorbing lanyard. Either one is fine. Personally, in general industry, I think the shock absorbing lanyard is maybe a little bit better because it puts less strain on your body in the event that you do fall, because it can, like it says, it can absorb the shock instead of your body absorbing all of that shock. Proper anchorage points. Anchorage points must be able to support 5,000 pounds of force. That's very important to remember. You must use uninsulated pipes of 3 inches or greater, and connectors, including D-rings and snap hooks, must be made from drop, forged, pressed, or formed steel or equivalent materials. So anchorage points are very important. You're going to want to make sure that you're tied off to something that can support your weight in the event that you do fall. And like I said, uninsulated pipes 3 inches or greater will do the trick. Obviously, in cases like this, you can kind of use your common sense, you know. I mean, a normal 2x4 piece of wood, you know, that's not going to support 5,000 pounds of force. So, as well as your training, you can kind of just use your common sense, you know, make sure that you're tying off to something that you think could support 5,000 pounds of force. But moving on, we're going to ask, when should fall protection be implemented? Just a general kind of wrap it up. In general industry, fall protection is required when working at heights of 4 feet or greater. So anytime you're 4 feet or higher, you're going to have to wear your fall protection, be tied off to something. Also, on low slope roofs, you're going to want to be wearing your fall protection when you are 15 feet. You're within 15 feet of the leading edge. And just the more general overview, the 4 feet or higher is what you're going to want to do, what you're going to want to wear your fall protection for, and then the 15 feet from a leading edge. And pre-use inspections, so going back to the fall protection here, you're going to want to check for things such as cuts or frays in the connecting device. You're going to want to look and see, make sure they're not cut or frayed. And just go back a little bit, I actually forgot to mention that all your fall protection equipment must be inspected before each use. That's very important. You want to make sure that every time before you go to put it on, every day that you inspect it, make sure everything is up to par. But like I was saying, check for cuts or frays in the connecting device, which are going to be these right here. Make sure nothing is frayed or has cuts in it. You're going to check for rusty clips. These clips right here are looking good, no rust on them. Check for cracked or bent buckles. So that's going to include stuff like these right here, these down here, these buckles right here for your leg straps. Check for discolored straps. Once again, you're just going to check these, make sure they're not wearing down or anything like that. And then check the fall indication stitching. That's very important. Once a full body harness has been used in a fall, that body harness can no longer be used. It's past its life cycle because the stitching, like here and here, will get stretched out from the fall happening. So that body harness will just be put away. Can't use it anymore. You want to get a new one. But yeah, so that's just some of the things you want to do for a pre-use inspection. And like I said, important thing to remember, you're going to want to do that before each time you use it, every single day. So now we're going to talk about how to properly don your fall protection. And this is very important. So I got a list of steps up here, but I'm going to go through them as I read them and show you guys kind of how to do it. So first, you're going to take the D-ring here, you know, kind of shake it out, make sure all the stuff is disconnected, nothing's getting hooked onto anything else. What you want to do, step one, make sure all the buckles are disconnected. We did that. Step two, put the harness over your shoulders. So you want to take this, put it around like that. Other side, put it around like that. Make sure all the straps here are straight, nothing's twisted up. You know, kind of get comfortable, make sure you got it on. Step number three, connect your chest buckle. So you're gonna wanna take your chest buckle right here, strap it in like that, make sure that it's chest level. You don't want it too low, you don't want it too high. In the event that it's too high and you fall, it could come up, get you around the neck, choke you to death. So you don't want that. You want to make sure that it's right here, chest level. Step 4, connect your leg buckles, which will be dangling back here. You want to take this, connect it like that. And another thing to do to make sure that you have it the right tightness, you're going to want to be able to fit flat hand underneath the buckle. Make sure you can do that. That way you know that it's the correct amount of tightness. You don't want it too tight, don't want it too loose. Take your other one, strap yourself in there, flat hand in there. Okay, good to go. Number 5, ensure that the D-ring is between your shoulder blades. And this is another thing, if you have a buddy next to you, you can kind of say, hey, check me out, make sure D-ring in between your shoulder blades. Don't want it too low, don't want it too high. Make sure it's in between there. Step 6, make sure your chest strap is mid-chest. Like I said before, don't want it too low or too high. Mid-chest, about right there. Step 7, position and adjust the leg straps. You want to be able to fit a flat hand between webbing and your leg, as I said. Make sure you can fit that flat hand. Don't want fist, nothing like that, flat hand. That way you know if you need to adjust it, make it more tight or more loose. Definitely don't want them too tight. In the event that you fall, you know, you can cut off circulation, but you also don't want them too loose. You don't want to be falling out. So step 8, plastic belt keepers must be pulled down right above the buckles. That's going to be right about here. So you want to make sure that they're down about right here next to the stitching and the buckles. Make sure that those are good, pulled down, and that has to do with the chest piece as well. Make sure that that's all good. So now you can see that my fall protection is all on and fitted correctly. D-ring, like I said, in between the shoulder blades. And now I'm ready to go out and do some work. So yeah, now I actually have a little evaluation quiz for you guys that I would like you guys to take, kind of see what you learned, kind of challenge yourselves, and I hope that you guys now have a better understanding of kind of what fall protection is in general, why it's so important, why it's needed, you know, when it should be implemented, and how to properly inspect it before you put it on, and then finally how to properly don it and make sure that it's fitted correctly for you guys, so you guys are all safe whenever you go out and to do your job. So thank you. Have a good day.